Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how you can generate OG tags or metadata for a page in NextJS 15. So let's get started. So firstly, I'll show you what basically we will be doing. So here you can see this is the output. At the top you might see the page which has this page title, you might say. So every time I refresh the page, here you can see the title is getting refreshed, and here also I'm displaying the title. So if I just show it to you, here you can see I'm displaying the title. So this is just a random number which I'm generating from my API. So we are basically calling the API and getting fetching that data, and every time the user refresh the page, I'm fetching the API will generate a random number, and I'm just displaying it over here. Now if you share this page URL on any popular website, it will also generate the OG tag for us, which I will show you later on once I deploy it to Vercel. I won't show you guys the deployment, you can do that by yourself, but hopefully you get the point. So every time I refresh, this particular number get updated. So for this I have created a simple route handler. So what you will have to do inside src create, we have this app folder, right? I'm using app router. So here you can see this app folder is created, and inside that I have just created a folder called API. Ignore this sample folder, this was just for my own practice purpose. So yeah, don't worry too much about it. So just you inside the app folder you have to create an API folder. Inside that I have created a folder called user, and inside that we have this route.ts, and here you can see I have just created a simple get API endpoint, and all I'm doing is that I'm just doing sending this response back. So I'm sending the image, I'm sending the name, and here I'm just sending some random number. Even the name is randomly generated, but it depends on you what you want to send. So hopefully you got the point. You might do some operation over here like a database call or whatever you feel like, and this is how you return the data back. Now we need to call this particular API inside page.tsx. So here this is the default page. So here I have just refactored the code. So first you can import metadata. If you are using image, you can import image from next image, and I have also imported this cache, which I will talk later on. So first I have created this interface. So what all things are written from our API, I'm getting an image, name, as well as a random number. I have added this force dynamic because I want to call the API for this particular page every time the page is refreshed. I don't want it to be a static page, so I have purposefully added this. Then here I have just created this function. Ignore this cache for now, I'll come back to this later. Also it is an asynchronous function, we are just calling this API. Now to call this particular route handler, like I mentioned, it is in the API folder, and inside that we have the user folder. So this particular Next.js application is typically hosted on localhost 3000, right? That's why I'm using localhost 3000 /API/user. If you have given your folder name some differently, you will have to call it over here, but make sure this API folder name should be the same. You can't name it whatever you feel like. Inside API you can name it whatever you feel like. So we are just calling the API and returning the data back. So here is our get data. Now coming back to this cache, so this will not actually cache your data like response for all every time the user reloads the page, like I shown you, right? Every time I reload my page, I'm getting new data. The reason is we are using this cache because this particular API is called inside generate metadata. So this will actually generate the OG tag for us, as well as it is called inside our React component as well. So no need to call it twice, but every time you refresh your page, the cache will get invalidated. It is just so that we don't call this API twice, one for generate metadata and one for this React component. That's the only thing we are using cache. This is not your cache like Redis cache or nothing like that. Okay, just I think it is just a session cache. Here then to generate the first I'll show you React component, simple React component, async React component. We are just calling our get data method, and here I'm just displaying the image. H1 tag displays the name, P tag displays the random number. And if you see the generate metadata option, here we just do const data is equal to await get metadata. Okay, and here we just return data.name, the description, data.image. So here again we are just calling this API, right? And it has the name, it has the description. For description I'm just giving the random number, and for displaying the image we require this open graph images, and I'm just checking if data.image is there. then create this particular array, pass the inside URL, pass the data.image, change the width and height to whatever you feel like, and pass some alt tag. Otherwise you can use undefined. Now this particular application is hosted on Vercel. So what I can basically do is, once it is hosted on Vercel, so this is my base URL, right? So instead of localhost colon 3000, I can directly write my base URL and it will call this particular API for me. Now if I, now my app is hosted on this particular URL. So if I just show it to you, if I open this, here you can see it is displaying 47. If I refresh it, it is displaying 90 over here, 90 over here as well. Now I can basically share this particular base URL on any social media website or wherever you feel like, on WhatsApp, and it will automatically create the OG tag for us, or metadata tag for us, or metadata about our particular URL as well. So what I'll do, I'll just open my twitter.com, share this URL and just show it to you. So here I am on my Twitter page, and if I just share this particular URL and I'll click on, sometimes here, yeah, here you can see it has generated this image which we were sending, and if I click on post now, here you can see this is our image. Now currently I think this has showing this should have shown our random number, but it is cached that particular data. That's why it is still showing lake, because previously for name, instead of passing name, I was passing the random number. Previously instead of passing random number, I was passing this name as lake. That's why it has cached this. But in your case it will show this random number. So hopefully you got the point. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.